Welcome everybody to the next installment of the Q&A session, all about answering your questions. And these questions come from my email list, people who have signed up at markhemmings.com. And I really thank you for signing up. And this is my thanks to you for doing so. And I'm also recording this in Starbucks, so there's a little bit of noise, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's get started. So the first question, this is, by the way, a technical video. Rosalind asks, recently I bought a Sony a6000. I find it very frustrating when I see photo opportunities and I can't take a photo. Reason being is I haven't been able to get my camera to do photos in low light. They are dark and pixelated. Aperture priority, ISO auto, focus area, center, AFC, f-stop at the lowest possible. Thanks so much for your help and time. Okay, so Rosalind, I feel that you're doing everything right. Now, one little note that's unrelated to your question is AFC. I do suggest AFS instead of AFC. AFC is usually best for sports photographers or any photographer who's dealing with fast-moving subjects, for example, maybe wildlife or bird photographers. If you are not one of those, I suggest AFS instead. Okay, that's autofocus single compared to autofocus continuous. Now, about the problem with low light and grain, with regards to the parameters, I would suggest taking a look at your exposure compensation. And I don't want to insult your intelligence, you probably already know this, but is your exposure compensation in the minus side? Please take a look at that. It should be at 0 for every picture and then adjusted depending on the light levels outside. Okay, so exposure compensation is your plus and minus, which makes your picture brighter or darker. Otherwise, really you're doing everything right. What I'll say to you is feel free to send me your raw file and I'll analyze the metadata as a favor to you, okay? And I'll get back to you through email privately. Okay, so the next question, Danny. I'm in the process of reading the digital version of Macworld and I read an article about Aurora HDR. If I may ask, what are your thoughts on HDR and the HDR software that they have? Thank you. Okay, Danny, I think Aurora is great. I've used it and it works excellent. However, since Lightroom switched to CC about a year ago or so, I've always been wanting HDR within Lightroom, and now we finally have it, as of a couple months ago, I think. So I just use HDR within my Lightroom CC, but it's only on the desktop version, not on the app version, okay? So yeah, just use either, but if you have Adobe Creative Cloud already, why not use it for free within Lightroom CC desktop version? Okay, so those are the two questions based entirely on technical. Thank you, Rosalind and Danny. And have many more that you guys sent in. And in the next video, we're going to deal with gear from Angela and Dr. LJ. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.